First of all, a big shout out to the tech team. We drive them crazy. We like to present live, so thank you guys. A round of applause. They're doing an amazing job. Welcome, everybody. So great to be here. I feel like this conference every year reveals new things and helps us chart the roadmap as to where the industry is going. Today, as I listened to the talks yesterday and this morning, one refrain kept coming up, which is, we just don't know where things are going. We don't know what the future is going to hold. This AI and innovation and Gen AI, it's creating a lot of uncertainty in the market, in technology and business, and indeed that's true. And what I want to do today is just talk a little bit about where things are going, show you guys some examples, some concepts, some ideas. But before I do that, we want to ask the question of just how crazy it's going to get. And I want to get a sense of the room here as to where you think AI is going to take us. Okay, and I'm going to put out here a curve, and I'm now going to show levels of transformation. And if you think AI is bigger than what I'm showing on the screen, please raise your hand. All right, and we'll get a sense of what the, yeah, that's good. We'll get a sense of what the room thinks and understand how you all think AI is going to transform our society and ultimately also, of course, our industry. So the first level of transformation, incremental upgrade, iPhone 10 to iPhone 11. If you think AI will be bigger than an incremental upgrade of a platform, raise your hand. Okay, so we have unanimous, universal agreement. Let's go next. Generational leap, right? 3, 4G, LTE, raise your hand. Okay, if you think AI won't be bigger than this, leave your hand down. Most people think it will be bigger. Next, platform shift, desktop to mobile, right? Who here thinks AI will be bigger than the platform shift of desktop to mobile, which changed almost everything? Okay, we have some hands down, but many hands are still up. Next, a analog to digital, right? When you think about things that transform things, we had the world before digital, the world after. If you think AI will be bigger, raise your hand. Okay, most people think it will be bigger. Civilizational transformation, the printing press. Here's a hard one. Will AI be more impactful on your life, your children's lives, than the printing press? Raise your hand. Wow, okay, so we have a lot of people who think it will be. Finally, epoch level, right? We're talking about civilizational transformation, industrial revolution, agrarian revolution, widespread global commerce. Will AI be bigger? Raise your hand. Okay, so some hands are now down. Somewhere between, I don't know, platform to civilizational transformation is the AI revolution, right? And it could be this, could be bigger, we don't know, but that's what we're talking about. Now, we know from past examples that whenever transformation happens, businesses are slow to change, right? And I have this phrase in my company, which is like, that's blockbuster talk. Sometimes we're sitting around and talking about a feature or talking about a challenge or an issue, and I just hear that we're building a defensive case against recognizing the fact that things are going to change. Why? Because we have a lot invested in whatever we were working on, right? And it might be similar with you all, right? There might be conversations about how auto retail is going to change, and people are kind of saying, well, you know what? Oh no, I think people will still want to do it that way. They'll still want to go Saturday night to the Blockbuster, right, with their friends. They'll still want to take those plastic cases off the shelf. I mean, that was like a cool experience, right? Well, yeah, sure, it was, but obviously streaming was better, right? And it dominated it. And so we know that businesses are slow to adapt to phase shifts. And it's incumbent upon us, sitting here today, where we all raised our hand to say that AI is going to be massive, to do the things that we can, or to at least educate ourselves and start to put into place the processes that are going to lead to some level of resilience as we see more and more transformation. And I found this quote that I use sometimes as well, which I think says it very well. Jack Welch, who was the legendary chairman of GE, he used to say, I mean, they were the biggest company in the world when he became the CEO, and they ended up being 10x the biggest company when he left. But his mantra to everyone was change before you have to. And I think that that's true also for dealerships, right? You could be the last one to get on the internet. You could be the last one to put your inventory on the internet, but at some point you're going to have to be on the internet, put your inventory on the internet. You might as well take advantage of it and ride the wave. Similarly, when it comes to AI, when it comes to transformation, we're going to talk about what you can do. Now, this is not a crazy radical idea, right? There's all the time businesses are evolving, right? Whoever would have thought that real estate would be done online with Zillow, it is. Today, there's still real estate. Real estate doesn't change. You have to have a place to live. But it is done with different technology. So too with dealerships, right? If you think about the evolution of automotive, many of us here remember using books to log every single deal. Luckily, some of us still had those around when CDK went down. We all still remember when computers first came into the system, right? When the printers started to fade away and we were able to do things digitally. But we're now somewhere at that transition from the digitized siloed process into this unified AI-powered platform. And it's my view, and I assume it's most of your views, that there will just be less software platforms and more singular platforms in the dealership, right? You're not going to deal with 20, 30 vendors anymore. You'll have 4 or 5, which will be kind of curating a core ecosystem. And it's that moment that I think is important for us to understand and to get a sense of where we're at, and then think a little bit about the future. Now, I've been speaking here at Brian's amazing conference, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and this triangle, this stack of tech has changed. And I had a few more slides of how it evolved, but we're just going to start kind of recently, right? If you think about the typical stack, you've got DMS, you've got CRM, you've got CDP, website, marketing automation platform. Prior to that, it was just marketing. And around all that are other vendors that come in and play in with it, right? Lately, we have seen like a lot happening around CDP and marketing. Many dealers do not have CDPs. Many dealers do not have true marketing automation. Those are kind of trends that will, I believe, finish within the next 2 to 3 years. Everyone is going to have marketing automation. Everyone is going to have a CDP layer because of what we're going to be talking about. And what's emerged lately is AI, Gen AI. Now, for the most part in auto today, Gen AI is being done at the level of marketing automation, right? There's a little bit here and there. Danny had a great example. There's other examples. But for the most part, marketing today is happening at the level of marketing. AI is at the level of marketing automation. What we're going to see soon is that AI is going to come and take over all the different aspects of what happens at the dealership, and in many ways, be there to support people's efforts, and in some cases, also replace people's efforts. And the tech stack is going to change, right? What are we going to see? And again, this is us educating ourselves on how things are going to be evolving so you could chart your technology roadmap. My belief, and I think that we're seeing this already outside of automotive, is that the core systems that we use to run our dealership, CRM, DMS, everything that I showed you in that vertical stack, those are going to be there, of course, right? This is core repositories of data. But the CDP layer is the critical piece to enable an AI operating system, okay? Now, we were probably the first to bring CDPs to auto. I don't feel passionate about CDPs, right? I'm not connected to CDPs in some irrational way. It's just very simple. When you have a lot of data systems sitting in silos, you need to bring them together. You need to aggregate it. You need to clean it up. You need to organize it so that you can do things with it. That's it. It's there as a pure instrument. It's not some fundamental ideological principle. A CRM can be a CDP, right? We have some great CRMs in the room. They can plug in all the data from everywhere else and bring it in, and great. Then you have a CRM/CDP. A CDP can be a CRM. It's not about the CDP, but what it is about clean, organized data that can then be leveraged. And once you have that, what we're going to see emerging soon in auto, and again, this is a conference to talk about the now and the future, is an AI operating system, okay? And the AI operating system is going to facilitate actions by people, by agents, right? And you're going to have running in your dealership at all times a hybrid of people and agents. This structure is the most important thing for you to be focused on right now, in my view, right? Getting all the data into the CDP so that you can then benefit from what's coming from vendors, from platforms in the world of AI and in the world of data activation and business process activation. So the optimal setup now is to have a CDP that has some facility to deliver on AI. Who will do the AI? I think it will probably be those core systems, CDPs, CRMs, DMSs, et cetera, but it might be others, because the activation and orchestration levers have to be plugged in. Just a simple example. You would want your AI, right, a bot, to be monitoring changes in the market, let's say on your digital advertising. You see an opportunity, there's maybe a change in the inventory mix, right? And now at some point, someone will show up, either your internal marketing team or an agency, and say, hey, there was a shift. Maybe they're selling fast. This model's selling faster than we expected. We want to move some money from here to there. that 100% could be done by AI. The question is, how far will it go? Will the AI show up and just tell you that information because it's surveilling the market and giving you the insight? Or will the AI be able to just say, hey, can I move the money? And just move the money, right? That's what you want. So you need to have a system, ultimately, where the marketing arms are connected to the operating system, okay? Now, this is all, how are you going to do this? People are going to do it, right? It probably is not going to be home built at a dealership. It's going to be built by vendors and partners. Some dealerships will try to build their own systems. But ultimately, what you're going to be working with is an ecosystem that can deliver this. This is for sure where we're going, because I'm seeing it outside of automotive, and we're frankly seeing it inside automotive as well. Now, I cannot tell you what the future is going to hold specifically here, but given that preamble, right, we're in an era of massive transformation. Typically, businesses are slow to change. It's good that we're all here to educate ourselves about how to change. What do we know and what can we say about the world that's coming? So number one, I said, get a CDP. Just get it in place, get your data organized, get it aggregated, you'll be in a better spot. What can we actually see that's coming, though? And I pulled out 3 things that I'm seeing. And again, to educate you all as you start to assess an AI strategy, your data strategy in the world of AI, I thought it'd be helpful to share these 3 things with you so that you can have them in your consciousness as you educate your dealerships and you bring your dealerships into the future. So we're going to talk about 3 pillars that probably will be important to you as a business in an era of AI. And the first one we're going to talk about, and we'll show a little bit of a demo here, is the concept of agents. Who here, raise your hand please, has an agent running today in their dealership? Something they feel is an AI agent. Okay, so no one raised their hand. Oh, we have a couple hands in the back. Someone who's, if you're using Danny software, you have that agent Benjamin running, right? What agent do you have running? Back there? Sort of? A sort of agent, okay. So agents are the first topic that we think is going to happen. And what is an agent? An agent is a very simple piece of software, it is quite simple. It is a piece of software that operates more like a person, more like a worker. And it can either co-pilot with a worker or it can do a job. The benefit of an agent, of course, is it can work 24/7. And it also can scale like human quality workflows. Now, this is possible. I mean, agents are only possible because of 3 things that exist in the world of Gen AI that made this new world that we're looking at, I think, accessible for this type of technology. The first is architecture. Software today for Gen AI is being built with context and memory in a way that can sort of be interpreted by these Gen AI algorithms. 2 years ago or last year, I did a whole session on the origin, how the Gen AI works. We're not going to do that today. But the fact that the Gen AI can remember, oh, that person was talking about this, and we have this thing in our inventory, I can now connect it and create a coherent message, that's pretty new to be able to unleash that at scale across a business. Number 2, the agents are moving from a world of workflows to doing work and delivering output. The founder of Box.com, Brian, I think his last name is Levy, I just saw this before I came here, he put out this tweet saying that all software is becoming performance software, right? There was a time where you bought a CRM, or you bought a DMS, and it does what the CRM or DMS does. It's your fault if you didn't use it well, right? If your people don't follow up with the leads, or don't use the workflow software, or don't log it properly in the DMS, it's not the DMS's fault, really. The DMS is the DMS, the CRM is the CRM, right? It's your team has to be trained better and do it. When it comes to agents who are supposed to actually do the work for you, you're in a world where the agent has to perform, right? So if you have an agent that is doing outreach from your CRM, the effectiveness of that agent in having a conversation, the effectiveness of that agent in delivering the lead effectively back to the DMS or what have you, or the sale, tracking the sale back, that is going to be assessed. Now, the third is user interface. Today, we're seeing that agents are interacted with in a very natural way. I watch our programmers in our office coding. They use Cursor or Copilot, and they'll just kind of say, hey, fix this thing on the screen, right? And it's amazing. The code just gets written by their agent and gets pushed to production, and the thing gets fixed on the screen. It's really nice to interface that way, because even I can do that, and I'm not a programmer, right? So what you're seeing now are these 3 changes. You have a different architecture that allows for agents to exist. You have a lot of value that they can deliver because they just work for you, and you have this mediation. And what the agents ultimately will do is they will work in this cycle where they can monitor things and see what's happening, They'll prepare solutions and either execute those solutions or bring those solutions to be executed or to get permission to execute, right? And this is the agent capability. We are now building at Fullpath primarily through agents or agentic workflows. And we built an internal system that we use. I'll talk about it in a minute, but it's not the focus here. I'll just give you a couple examples of agents that work internally and externally. We have about 50 right now running. We have an agent for compliance. Every email, right, compliance is complicated programmatically if you want to do it, right? OEMs hire in Sierra to do compliance and to police the market, right? But think about it. If I have every ad running through my system, every email running through my system, go to an agent who has in its memory every single brand book, every single covenant book and marketing rules book that all the OEMs put out. And when a new one comes out, you just flip one in, flip one out. The agents have read those books. They know those PDFs by heart. And when an email flows through, they can read the email and say, hey, is this up to Stellantis's or Nissan's or Porsche's guidelines? And the agent can then say, oh, if it's not, let me rewrite it and flow it back to the other agent that does the agent checking. So now you have an agent that does the email writing and another agent that does the compliance checking. And then the master agent could come in and say, hey, you know what? That agent keeps getting it wrong on the email writing. So let me actually change the prompt and fix it and see if it works. That ecosystem is a self-healing agent that creates content, runs it through compliance checkers, and assesses and judges, did it get it right? Okay, just an example of a simple agent that saves us enormous amounts of time and money at Fullpath. Another is an inventory intelligence agent, right? You want to be able to know what's happening in the market around your dealerships. Pull in the inventory. It's all available on the internet. You could scrape it. You can pull it from a feed. You can look around, and then you can make decisions about adjusting advertising, adjusting email messaging, all based on inventory intelligence. Another one that I think is very interesting is F&I, guiding you on F&I. If you know what your dealership's practices are on F&I, you can load that up into the memory of your agent. And now you suddenly have an agent that can interface with your F&I manager and kind of advise and guide and answer questions, right? With real-time information and real insights. Another agent that's actually live now for us on about 30 stores is a voice agent, answering phone calls, calling people back, booking appointments, scheduling things. It's very nice. It helps the dealership in flow. And I decided to do a live example of an agent called Omni, which I'm going to turn to my co-founder Eliav here to do with me, in order to just give a feel for kind of how easy it is to enable an interface with your data once you have these agents operating. So I'll give a shout out to our friends at Hudson Automotive who let me use one of their stores. We're washing it through a PII cleaner, so you won't see any PII here. But basically, what I'm going to ask Eliav to do is show how an agent can function as like a co-pilot for dealership functions. And this is Omni. Omni for us is this kind of universal wingman that can do a lot of different things for different functions at the dealership. This is out on a very limited number of our clients. In an older version, it's going to be embedded throughout different parts of our software, but it's not about what we're doing. It's more about what's coming broadly, all right? And I'll just give you a couple examples here to show and prove the point that I was trying to make. So Eliav, if you could, are you here? Can you hear me? Okay, if you could just connect all the MCP servers in the interest of time here. So I'll talk about what this is in a minute, but basically what Eliav just did was give Omni access to all of the data that we have. OEM data, dynamic payments, that includes also in OEM probably the offers that they're running, dealership data, all the CDP data is now accessible to Omni, meaning everything we know about their customers. And what was the last one? Which MCP did you put in there? Inventory. We have all the inventory data, okay? And now I'm going to do a couple things. I'll just sort of pretend to play different roles at a dealership. So Eliav, let's pretend that I am a sales representative. We fed in a fake lead, so we're going to use that one person. But I have a meeting later today with Dave Kurtz, and I would like a brief and bullet points. Just tell me what we know about this guy who I'm meeting as a salesperson. Now, thanks. Okay. Yeah. Brian, we could have you type. So now what's happening? My Omni, my AI agent, hopefully. Live demos are always risky. Always refresh if it doesn't work. Did we just lose internet entirely? Security. Should I wait or not? Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. Okay, so here it is. All right, so basically, Eliav asked, or I asked Omni to go to the dealership, run information and give us information about Dave Kurtz. Can we go, Eliav? Is it working? Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so whatever, he likes a RAV4. So Eliav, do me a favor. What is the most expensive RAV4 we have in the lot? Okay, remember we connected in the inventory. So now Omni should be able to know what's going on in the inventory. Beautiful. Okay. Eliav, could you check, are we running any offers on RAV4s? All right. AI, it's checking the servers. Great, we have offers. Okay. Write me an email with one of these offers to Dave. Make it not super salesy. No, to Dave. Anyways, Eliav, can you if you send it, will it block it? Will it send? If he's hit send, he can now send the email. Okay. Eliav, write me an SMS telling him that we're going to meet later and that I want to run some offers by him. Okay, so what do you have here? You have a secure GPT environment, which has access to all your data. And here I, as a salesperson, am able to say things like, who are the people I'm meeting today? Who's coming to my service lane? Can you please build me the best offer case? Give me bullet points. Just hit send. Actually, don't send it, just in case. All right. Another function at a dealership. Let's say I'm a marketing director. Let's do an audience. Eliav, I don't know, build me RAV4 shoppers who have a high APR. Yeah. So what's it going to do now? It's going to go to my CDP. It's going to run an audience, and who visited the website the past 3 days did not purchase a car and have high APR financings. I don't know if you could show it, Eliav, PII-wise, but great. Okay, here you go. So we're in the RAV4 context, high APR, and here we go, a list of shoppers. You know, Eliav, the next question to me, we don't have time, would be build an email campaign and send it, right? Quick, fire it off, do it. Now, Omni doesn't have to be so reactive, right? Omni can live on your phone, and it can show up in the morning as a salesperson when I walk in the door, and it can say, hey, here's 5 people you must call in the next hour because they were on the website last night. You don't even know it, and they're interested in this, and here's what you should say. We have another agent that we've tested that trains salespeople every morning on the meetings they're going to have the rest of the day. It calls them, and it says, hey, I'm going to simulate and run through now 3 different meetings you have today. I'm going to pretend to be that person using all their CRM and website browsing data to kind of instantiate what that person is actually like and have a conversation with you, right? That's the example of, this is just an example. We don't have time, Eliav. You can ask it, what's my most popular car? What's happening with my ad campaigns? I mean, on and on and on. Okay, so this Omni function is just one agent of what will be ultimately many in the dealership. I'm showing this more as an example to evoke inspiration, not saying that you know, there will be many other agents like this. Can we go back to the deck for a minute? Okay, just because in the interest of time. The other thing that should interest you, in addition to the agent-empowered, you know, the exoskeleton that your team members are going to get, and the agent-powered technology that you will be operating at your dealership, is infrastructure as a service. You will be able to build agents quickly, or your companies and vendors will be. Okay? Today at Fullpath, like, it's literally a drag-and-drop process to build workflows and agents with LLMs. We went quiet for about, a year ago, we went quiet for about 7-8 months because we built a huge infrastructure to enable us just to build AI. And we can now develop AI so fast, and we have product managers who are not programmers who can write AI code because they just drag and drop it and instant access to it all. This infrastructure gives you the ability to leverage your proprietary data in an environment that's accessible. You guys could probably embed some of this internally. We may make some of this available. Others will make this available. But you can go and now develop your own AI visions with enterprise-grade security using your own proprietary data. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Anyone who wants to come afterwards, we'll show you live what that looks like. You can build an agent right here. We just did a conference with a number of our dealers, and they all built their own agents, which we then proceeded to hack to show that the security piece is really complicated. The third is going to be protocols. And this is very simple. Again, the three things you should keep in mind. We don't want to have the same situation with agents as what we have today with dealer systems not talking to one another because there are no APIs. The most common protocol in automotive now in agent development is called MCP, Model Context Protocol. It's basically a language that enables dealer agents to talk to one another. Just like websites can talk to one another, email clients can talk to one another, right? Because you have a common protocol. This common protocol will enable the flourishing of lots of agents. And this is something that we think is going to happen as we move forward in the industry, where you're going to have agents that Fullpath builds talking to agents that DriveCentric builds, that Cox builds, that others build. And it'll be easy because they're all using MCP or some other common protocol. Eliav, maybe you will show an example now. This is a little agent we built as a concept. This is meant to just inspire you. It's totally fake data. Eliav, I would get to this through the Agent Cafe. We'll show that in a minute. But anyways, here I am right now. This is a dealer trade agent, okay? It's a fake dealer trade agent. It's all fake data. I am North City Toyota, and I have this thing that works for me that looks around for dealer trade opportunities. So turn on my OmniTrade, and I'm now going to ask it to go and sell and buy a car. Okay, so it knows what my parameters are, and then now I'm going to say, go do it. So Eliav, if you could just hit Start Demo. Okay, so it's looking for a white Camry SE. It goes out there, and it finds other agents that work for other dealerships, and it starts to talk to them about doing trades. So we did this in human-readable format versus just computer code. Great, so now these we'll come back in a minute to talk about it, but you can kind of see that two agents were talking. They identified a trade that made sense between two agents. You can now see it sent it to the GM for review. This is all for the demo pre-plan. Okay, it's being pushed to the general manager. Approved by the general manager. Now, in the world of agents, shipping companies should also have MCP servers that can handle orders from agents, right? Well, our agent just looped in a shipping agent in this kind of utopian vision of what agents will do in the future. And you can see here, they just scheduled the shipping, the pickup and the drop-off. The vehicle was picked up, and hopefully soon will be dropped off, and then transaction is complete, all right? Now, again, this was a little demo, but it's meant to, and we're not going to build this. I hope someone else builds this. But this should evoke in you the imagination of what it looks like when you as a general manager or a new car director have an agent that's working for you, scanning the inventory with your parameters, what you like, how you like to do dealer trades. And it's out there looking for the best deals, and when it shows up, it can either pick up the phone and call the GM and talk just like all the voice agents, or it can talk to other agents if the other dealership has an agent, and it can bring you that trade for approval, and then even in the future, handle the shipping, okay? And I don't know, Eliav, do you have the Agent Cafe, our agent hub? Right, so this is the type of stuff we and others are doing. I'm sure others are doing this. These are all the agents that I'm currently managing in my very advanced version of Fullpath. I mean, this is not public. But if I want to hire other agents, that was the OmniTrade, by the way, what you just saw there, I can hire other agents. This is this cute idea we have with the Agent Cafe. These are just different agents that can work for my dealership. And because of MCP, that doesn't have to be built by Fullpath. That could be built by a totally different vendor. They could drop it in and say, hey, we want access to the CDP. Fullpath says, no problem. It's MCP-ified. If your dealer approves it, sure, here's the plug. And now you can do whatever you want with the data from the CDP in your agent, okay? So in terms of understanding, if you could go back, Eliav, where things are going in the future, the not so distant future, some of this stuff is real and exists already. Some of it is just around the corner. But these are the types of things that are going to be coming to your dealership. What I can tell you in the last minute I have here is that the most important thing for you all, I think right now, is to get the CDP right, okay? Because if you get the CDP right, you don't need to worry about all the rest. The rest will come. It's going to come in the form of vendors. They're going to either give you infrastructure to build it yourself, like hand you a platform where you can design your own workflows proprietary for Weiler or for Hudson or for a different auto group, or they're going to come and deliver them to you out of the box, turnkey, and you'll get an agent that can do something for you and you can customize it, right? And this is going to live throughout your infrastructure. So the CDP is the key piece. Once you have that, again, try to find a CDP that's thinking about all the activation layers and is very technologically sound. Once you have that, you'll be set up well to enjoy those three pillars that we talked about and to participate in this AI revolution. I will also note, we just put a bunch of stuff up on our website to learn about it. MCP, all this stuff I just threw around in 5 seconds here, and really short. There's videos, they're explaining it and educating folks about it. Thank you very much. Thanks to Brian. Amazing to spend time with you all.